There are conflicts which took place in you when you are very young. Some of them you didn't even, you are not even mature enough to notice. Then they remained in your subconscious mind and eventually will determine how you respond to issues that come across your way. They can be the following. It can be an abuse, whether sexual or physical abuse that you are subjected to. When you are a child, actually you must have been very young. Some of them took place when you were not even in a place to even remember names and put names you remember. But those things are hidden in our subconscious mind, and eventually when you grow up, they serve a big role in how you deal, relate, and handle issues. So people may fight with you, people may abuse you, people may take you to counsel, but they don't know what is the problem. And you may not also know them. Maybe how you grew up, how your parents handled you. For example, if you come from a home where parents are very harsh, they don't have any parental relationship with their children. The only relationship is stand up, come, go, turn this way, run, sit, seek what? Sleep. In other words, they are just orders. There is nowhere you can sit down with your parents and you joke, you relate, you tell stories, you open, how was your day? Nili ifanyika, nani alikusumbua leo? Many of us grow up in families like that. There's a speaker, I lost that video. The people I counsel for marriage, I always give them that video. A pastor friend from Tanzania sent me that video. I don't forward WhatsApp videos, but that one is forwardable. It's powerful. It's a sermon of about 7 minutes. I don't know whether some of you, that one I've not seen in any WhatsApp video. When it got lost from mine, I've never seen people sharing it. Of kinyanyanyanya na kijeshi. How many have heard that sermon? The people I've wedded have forwarded to them all that video to watch first before you start the counseling. Those who are brought up, the pastor is talking about a young girl growing up in a family of kijeshi. And what is a family of kijeshi? It's a family where there are just orders. Do this. Every time, pa! Umeweka hii kitu hapo kwa nini? Nini baya nawe? Slap, pa! So it's a family where people talk with shouts and slaps. Shouts and slaps. You know, family ya kijeshi. So the young girl grows up kijeshi. Then there is another family where another girl or a boy grows kinyanyanyanya. Anabembelezwa. Of course, he's using very nice Kiswahili. Hana, amka. The way they are even woken up. Anabembelezwa. At home too, they are still being carried. He's being, akitoka shule, analakiwa with the father and the mother. Then this man or young girl grows up and meets a boy or a girl, meets a boy who grew up in kijeshi. Then you bring, of course, at the end, after the honeymoon, they met, loved each other, in quotes. I'm saying in quotes because they think it is love. Then vows are made, they go, honeymoon, they come back. The first day, the man wakes up and says, unaweza nitengeneza unaweza niwekea maji bafuni? Tochiege penjeni. Ala? Tuliamuka nikakuuliza, umeamkaje ukasema salam. Where she was born and brought up, only sick people walipelekewa maji bafuni. But this one, why? Because the girl grew up in a kijeshi. Paka hata wakienda bafuni. Baba amesimama na nini yake na ndoo yake anaambia, "Haya, fanya haraka, angogoja." Mama anafanya haraka, "You ni familia kijeshi je?" Then ile yake, he says that is a recipe for fireworks. That family will be troubled until Jesus comes back. Why? Because of the two contrasting backgrounds that these people have grown up. Some of them may have been an abuse. Because what you pick up as you grow up, they build you. Now, these unresolved conflicts, let me repeat, unresolved conflicts refers to the effects of childhood traumatic experiences which have remained in the subconscious mind and therefore determine how the person responds to issues and crises. Do you know that the way you respond to crisis, even when you have a family problem, was built in you before you reach age 7? Are you aware of that? Did you know that you did pick that in the university? Some men even think that you picked it from Chama, where you are going. Yeah, men think that women learn this from wanawake wenzako wanakuharibu kwa hizo machama. My friend, that thing is deeper than Chama. It is not built from the Chamas. Don't fight the Chama guys. Don't fight FIDA. Don't fight it Beijing. It is not a Beijing issue. It is a deep heart, pains. They were not resolved. Then they begin kuchipuka, and it determines how you see the world, how you approach issues, and how you relate. Interpersonal relationship is always determined by these unresolved conflicts. They begin to resurface slowly by slowly. However, the two people may not even be able to know what is causing the problem. Are you getting me? That's where the problem begins, because the two are not even able to know what is really the problem. There are two types of these traumatic experiences. There are two types. One is the one you are going through right now. No, you didn't get me. Then the second one is the one you went through, the one which you don't even know. There are those ones you may remember. You may be able to remember. Even an accident, abuse, even verbal abuse. If you grew up in a home where you are treated as nothing, insults, left, right, and center, unaita swine. Those are the terms you heard about you round. These things go and they are hidden in your subconscious. And when you grow up and you reach this age where you are looking at me, this is how you will see yourself. A child is fortunate. A child in a formative stage, passing through a crisis, is very dangerous than an adult going through the same at your age. For a child in a formative stage to go through those crises is worse than an adult going through the same. Why? Because it shapes the personality of this person. Do you know there are people who are just naturally violent? There's somebody who anachapa mke wake every time he beats and he drinks. So one day we went with the elders and asked him, kwa nini unapiga huyu msichana? And the father and the mother were seated there. And the lady was telling us that this time at least let him tell you what I did. What did I do bad? Ati aliingia tu kwa nyumba akachukua kiboko akampata kwa kitanda. Shwa, tukamuuliza, why were you caning us? Pastor nilikuwa namchemusha tu kidogo. Nilikuwa nothing. He also confesses that there's nothing, but ilikuwa tu ni kufanya nini? Dakonya kamorma ten gidel. Now when you look at that, you may think that the problem started yesterday. It is unresolved conflict that is lying in the subconscious mind of this person, which was not sorted. And I'm going to tell you how we can also sort them. Are we together? How do we have lesbians? We have homosexuals. Do you know at what stage that thing begins? Parents are completely unaware. I've shared with some people who told me, Pastor, I was left, my mother was very harsh. She had a troubled marriage. And she poured all her anger on us. We were guarded like Amaris because people will destroy us. So the maid introduced her to this thing. Akiguza kitu hapo. Sitaki kusema. I'm talking to holy men of Israel. Now, slowly by slowly, she started building this. By the time she was in high school, she was a professor. And that changed her orientation completely. Till today, it has affected the way she relates with everybody else. She has got over it, yes, overcome it using self-help books, which are good, but also dangerous in the long run. Self-help books. They are good because she has stopped it, but dangerous in the long run because C.D. Brooks preaches a sermon entitled Solutions That Are Problems. It comes to solve a problem you have, but brings a bigger problem than the one it came to solve. It lives there. If I have time, I will tell you what they do. Because they come from this new age movements of spiritualism. They also introduce spiritualism to the person they help. And spiritualism is actually, it's just a devil worship in a simple way. So they tried, but because she was tired of that life. At what age was she introduced? She told me when she was in class 1. And the mother did not, to date, the mother does not know on what was happening to her daughter. And she likes being alone. She can lock herself in the house the whole day, whole week, if she's not going anywhere. Very minimal friends. Just watching movies. In other words, she is antisocial. Now, dawa ya huyu mtu, I told her, and it may not make sense to you, dawa ya huyu mtu is to get people to connect with and walk with human beings and be friends to somebody else. I'll explain that later. Then the second one, the first trauma is the one you are going through now. What is the one you are going through now? Your boss may be disturbing you. Are we together? Or your husband may be bringing you problems. Or your wife. Or you may be suffering in your school where you are studying. Any crisis, these small things we meet on the way. Or coronavirus made you be chased from jail. Now these are the crises we may be going on through now. Do you know what you do? You are actually using what you picked from that formative age to deal with this one. And the one you picked from there, it was unresolved. And you will be using wrong formulas to handle the current problem. Now, in our marriages, that's how our marriages function. All of us, a child in a formative stage, passing through a crisis is very dangerous, more dangerous than an adult going through the same, because this will form the personality and the world view. It can be even death of a parent of this child, a disability, sickness, divorce of the parents, single parenthood. Because when you're a single parent, there's a way they will bring up their children. Widows, there's a way you will handle your children. If you are suffering, you may direct all your anger, maybe to the firstborn. You beat like Burukenge. Burukenge chanele moga kadong. Abuse, sexual or physical. Unresolved conflict inject into the person the spirit of inadequacy. Wow. Did you hear that? Unresolved conflicts injects into you and me the spirit of inadequacy, of low self-worth, leading to false concept, to low self-esteem. It brings low self-esteem. People who suffer low self-esteem also, people who have low self-esteem suffer from a disease called superiority complex. Did you hear that? That one I know you've only heard which one? Inferiority complex. Let me repeat. People who have low self-esteem suffer from superiority complex. What does this mean? They don't suffer from inferiority complex, from superiority complex. It means that you always want to be superior before people. You want to be seen. You are tough. You are the holiest. You are the best. Symptoms of superiority complex are the following: losing temper very easily, a person who throws tantrums easily, truancy, fears failure, always agitating the people who go to the road. Oh, haki yetu, kila kitu, haki yetu. This is our right. Tunaenda kusema. Quote, it is a symptom of superiority what? That is not, it's not, you are not okay, you are sick. A desire to relate with the people of substance. You hear, mimi niko na namba ya Professor so and so. Naweza hata mpigia sahi. Niko na nyongo, wananya thinya menwa. Obama. They are related to every big person. Ruto. Mimi niko na namba hiyo kijana. They suffer from superiority what? It is a disease. When you hear people like that, know that you are talking to face with a sick person. The problem is that these ones are not treated in Avenue or Aga Khan. You don't need insurance, health insurance against this one. I will tell you how to deal with this one. We are almost done. Kleptomaniac, lasting for power, and or even education, lasting for power and education. This one will shock you. Let me quote Pastor Misiani here, who's supposed to be your speaker. There's something he calls intellectual lust. You hear somebody with 3 PhDs, he's still looking for the 4th one. That person is trying to cover up a nakedness somewhere. You think he's normal. The guy is sick. It is a superiority what? Complex. It is a big problem. Actually, it is an unresolved issue that these people are trying to resolve through other what? Other means. Sexual promiscuity. They want to show how powerful they are. Solomon tried it. 1,000 women and I'm still going. I'm not dead. All of them. You think he was singing hymns to those women? You need to look for me, I tell you. When no someone in John 3:16. They want to look superior. And they think that by caning every woman, then they are what? They are superior. It is a problem. It is a deep-lying, unresolved issue that was not sorted. So it is coming up, and they are facing the crisis they have in their life, using what they came with from childhood. Are you getting, parents, are you getting how serious it is, how you bring up your children? Wow. Bas. Dikorumo. The greatest victim of unresolved conflict, is marriage. That's why I wanted youths here. The greatest victim of unresolved what? Conflict is what? Is marriage. Why? A person enters marriage unconsciously expecting the partner to fill up the inadequacies. And unfortunately, the partner does not even know what this person went through in childhood. So he doesn't even know what this person wants. Ukifanya hii, anataka hii. Ukifanya hii, anataka hii. So the greatest victim is the marriage institution. Because all that garbage, msichana amebeba yake, anakuja kumwagia bwana. Bwana amebeba yake, anakuja kumwagia nani? Msichana. A recipe for what? For what? Crisis. It is the worst victim of these unresolved conflicts. Things that you don't know. That is why she has not given the spouse the exact point, the reason. The spouse that don't know what is in your mind, what went through, and may not even be in a position to dig and know what you went through. Because some of them you also don't do what? Don't understand, but they are hidden in your subconscious mind. How do you solve resolution of unresolved conflicts? Connection, bonding, rapport. Let me explain them. But this is not, I'm going to show you how you resolve this one. But this is how people try to resolve them. A person with unresolved conflicts, when they have a spouse, when the spouse is away, They always think about their spouses in negative ways when their spouses are away. They think about, when your wife or your husband is away, do you think about him with regrets? Or you miss him or her? If you think about your spouse with regrets that you married the wrong person, ulitaka mwenye ako na mlima huku na mlima yake sio haitoshi, ama ulitaka brown lakini brown sio so brown sana. So they end up, even husband, you may be walking down and you see somebody's husband driving Range Rover, and you are wondering what you got married to. So they think about their spouses with maybe the way the spouses handle them, you think about them with regrets. Another one, through bonding, you can help one another. You bond. Bonding takes a very long time to build. It does take place when you exchange the vows. It can take up to 50 years. Bonding is when all your thoughts, you become one in everything, in thoughts, likes, what you blend. You blend. It's hard. Few people bond in marriage. I gave you an example of, I told you I'm studying in Adventist University of Africa. And because the school it was started to serve the entire continent of Africa for graduate studies, masters and PhDs in theological courses. But this day I told you, even people want public health, IT, or the other one is what? Masters in accounting, MBA, it's open, you can join these days. But it is purely for masters and PhD only. It's supposed to cover the three divisions in Africa: East Central Africa Division, West Central Africa Division, and Southern Indian Ocean Africa Division. And that's why if you go, you'll find the leadership covers the whole world. The leadership. So most students come from the southern part of Africa and western part of Africa. Kenyans sometimes are very few. I don't know why. So we were with some pastor who came from Burundi. Me, I didn't meet him, but I heard the story. I'm relating a story which I was told. That he came to school, and in coming to school, kumbe this guy had not lived away from his wife for even a week. They were married over 20 years. He had never tasted life without the wife for a week. So he has come to study, sponsored by the union. Sponsored. See? Day 1, ako sawa tu. Day 2, things started going bad. Day 3, he started getting sick. Day 4, he was admitted. I said day 4, he was admitted. So when they checked, they realized they could not find any problem, any sickness. So somebody started the counseling, and they discovered the guy was missing his wife, that he could not function in class, he could not sleep at night. So eventually when the first week ended, the following week, he renounced his scholarship and went back to Burundi. He said, I can serve God without masters. And he went back for good. So that they give that thing to another person who can bear it. It's just like that. So I don't know whether I can call this a bond that had grown too much, or the intimacy I was talking about, that it was strong. But what was scaring me, what if that lady dies? I'm not wishing. I told you a human being can leave you by death or by choice, whichever comes first. But one must eventually come one day. You go and check the birthday of your wife. You'll realize you didn't come to this world the same day. So why do you think you will leave the same day? Or your husband? You need to come the same? Wow. So bonding takes place in 3 areas, in 4 stages. Stage 1, romantic stage, where you love each other. When you think about each other, it's just love, and you're so excited. When is she coming back? And remember when I just got married, hey, when she's coming back from Lambwe, she was working in Lambwe, I'm in Koru. You think that heaven is coming down, hallelujah. You can sing that song, heavens came down and glory filled. You can sing that song. But a romantic love cannot keep you for long. It cannot sustain a marriage for long. So if that is what you are building on, with the time, it will begin to wane. Then go to the next step, friendship stage. You'll enter a level now where your spouse becomes your friend. Thank you. That you can relate it with closely. Most marriages don't grow to this level. Then the 3rd stage is sibling. You relate with your spouse like your sister or your brother. You're very close. Then the last stage is parentage. This takes place when your parents have died. So you just look at your wife like your mom. Or if you are a lady, you are seeing your husband like your father. It's everything to you. Unresolved conflicts makes you to be selfish in marriage. So sometimes this may not take place. Then unresolved conflicts are shown the way you speak, your tone, emotional exposure. Then support. Finally, let me close with resolving unresolved conflicts. How do you resolve them? The first step is identify the issue. There are only 3. Identify the issue. Revelation chapter 2 verse 5 says, remember where you have fallen. So if you want to get married, you need to dig about your past. You need to understand yourself well. Because you are carrying baggage to somebody's life. Are we together? Dig and dig and dig. Find out. If you get a good counselor when you're joining marriage, that person will begin by trying to trace your history, your background, whether you come from a single family, kijeshi family, or a Kenyanya family, or a family where people don't care. He will dig and find, and we will be able to know and resolve conflicts which you are carrying unconsciously. You want to transfer to this gentleman or this lady. Then number 2, seek the services of a therapist. Luke chapter 5 verse 3, that one at least read. Seeking the services of a what? Of a therapist. Seek the services of somebody who can be able to help. Start this early. If you're a young lady, before you get into marriage. A young man, before you get into marriage. You have unresolved issues. They are there, you will not even know without a need of a therapist.